Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Solid Show. And here is your host, Solid RTD. Hello, and good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gents. I am RTD, bringing you the second episode of the Solid Show. Today, I am going to be sitting down with the fiery redhead, the queen of the Okanagan. So, everyone, bow down to the one, the only, Scarlett Black.
That was a great introduction. Thanks, RTD.
You are very welcome. It's a lot better than the one I gave Danny.
Oh, good. Wouldn't have it any other way.
All right, just give the fans a little heads up. I'm going to be having some of Scarlett Black's merch websites in the description below. So go out there, visit those shops, buy a shirt. You know, it's a real good shirt. Some of them I seen in person. Some I put on, and I think I stretched some of them.
Is that what happened to them?
Yes, I'm sorry. Because we had to make bigger pairs, you know. All right, first question. How did you get the name the Queen of the Okanagan?
Well, it was when I was working for Big West Wrestling in Kelowna, BC, so in the beautiful Okanagan. It was kind of a joke at first with Marty Sugar because he's the king of the Okanagan. And I was one of the only females in the region at the time. I was the only female in the region at the time, so I called myself the Queen of the Okanagan. And then we ended up having a whole sordid relationship storyline together, and it just kind of fit, and it stuck, and yeah.
Well, there you go. Question 2 was sent in by Dawn. Where did you come up with the wrestling bitch face t-shirt?
It was actually in training one day. My trainer and mentor, Cougar Meat Colin Cutler, he always bugged me about my resting bitch face. And he said it to me one day, and I thought he said wrestling bitch face. And so we both kind of stopped and looked at each other, and I was like, oh, that's a thing. I was like, that's going on a t-shirt ASAP. It is definitely my top seller so far.
Well, there you go. And guys, when you go and check out the merch, actually get that shirt. People will just look at you, what?
And the best thing about that site, too, is you don't just have to get shirts. You can put that design on anything. Like, there's, like, coffee mugs, there's stickers, there's, like, everything you can think of. It's great.
All right, question 3. Me and you met on Canadian Wrestling's Elite 9th Dan Tour, featuring Ron Simmons. You faced Madison Miles, Jade, I'm sorry if I'm going to butcher her name, but Alex Wicker and
Alex Wicker, yeah.
Cherry Doll, who is your favorite foe and favorite friend out of them?
Ooh, out of them?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You're going to get me some heat here. That's what you're doing. Well, Madison and Jade, they are two incredible competitors. We fought each other multiple times. They're definitely the two that I've worked the most in this business and worked alongside and against. They both have become really great friends of mine, and I would say it's kind of a double standard. They're both my favorite opponent and my favorite friend, so it's kind of tough. They're both incredible women.
Awesome.
Incredibly tough. They are brutal.
After I reached out to Danny, I'm going to get heat on this one. But after I reached out to Danny, I actually reached out to Jade and see if she wanted to be a guest on my second episode. And
you asked Jade before me?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm going to get heat on this.
Oh, buddy.
But like Jade said, not right now. She's going through something right now, so which is understandable.
Yeah, we are all, man.
Yeah,
It's a hard time right now.
mad respect for her and all the other females in the business. Like you guys have been, not shadow of the doubt, I say even better than most of the men in the wrestling business today.
Oh, thank you, sir.
You are very welcome.
We try very hard.
Question 4, sent in by Lisa. Do you know your wins and losses and draw record?
Oh, no, not at all.
Actually, she put it in the question as well.
Really? Like
Yeah,
she knows them?
yeah. Well, she doesn't. She just says 46 wins, 62 losses, 3
Yeah.
draws, total of 111 matches.
See, I think that a lot of people get information from sites like Cage Match and stuff like that, um, which I've been on there before and I've checked my own stats just out of curiosity, but they miss a lot. They don't have a lot of the information. So I would say there's definitely more matches than that for sure. But I don't know. I don't really track my wins and losses. I just
You're not
I don't know.
one of those wrestlers that watch out for that.
Yeah, I'm always a winner in my own mind.
Solid. All right.
And if you're tracking my losses, get bent. Get out of here.
You're a winner in my book. It's a short book, but
I'll take it.
Okay, question from me. You've been in the wrestling business for about 3 to 4 years now? Uh,
Um, yeah, I debuted the summer of 2017, I believe.
so yeah.
So
But
yeah, about that.
was it hard for you to get into what's called a man's world in professional wrestling?
Yes and no. I think that I was very fortunate to be brought up where I was. The crew and management of Big West, where I started, were super welcoming. They never treated me like a woman getting into the business, like
All right.
they treated me like one of the boys, and that's what I wanted. That's what it was. It was harder because I feel I had to prove myself a little bit more, especially going out of the Okanagan. You don't really get taken seriously a lot of the time as a female in this business. But luckily, like Marty Sugar, Colin Cutler, those guys were awesome. I remember Colin Cutler telling me one time at training that I don't want to make you a good female wrestler. I want to make you a good wrestler. So he didn't pull his punches. He didn't take it light on me. If anything, he was probably harder on me. So it
So
was
he
good. I
pretty much
appreciate it.
just treated you like one of the boys.
Pardon me? Sorry?
So he pretty much just treated you like one of the boys.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, that's good, because in my eyes, if you treat somebody differently, then they're going to expect that through their whole career.
Yeah, for sure. And I think a part of it too is like, it's almost a disservice when you treat people differently or you baby people, because then they get out into that real world and it's tough, right? Like I would say the women in this business, as much as they say it's a man's business, the women hit harder, they grind harder, like everything is, because we have to prove ourselves more, right?
Yeah.
So I'd say if anything, like you get in the ring with any woman in this business, like you're not gonna be it's not gonna be a good time.
I was about to
And you'll
ask if that
definitely
was an
have some respect
invitation.
afterwards. What's that?
I was going to ask if that was an invitation to get in the ring with you.
I don't know, man. I've been off for a while. I've got a lot of pent up aggression.
All right, question 6, sent in by Ronnie. Have you done or a tryout for Impact or WWE?
No, I have not. I thought about it a couple times, but not yet.
Especially since WWE pretty much comes to our neck of the woods in Canada, but don't stay for that long.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, no, that hasn't really quite been in the cards yet, but maybe someday.
Awesome. Question 7. You were which I got this question off of Wikipedia.
Okay.
You were the BWW TV champion, which is the Big West Wrestling, uh,
Yep.
for
BWW. Yep.
uh, for 91 days.
Hmm.
You were the DOA UK Women's Champ for 1 day. Would you ever
Hmm.
try to challenge for those titles again?
um, the Big West Wrestling Television Championship, 100%. I would. I'm always dreaming of Big Red. She's my girl. Um, I was robbed. It's fine.
Maybe this
So
interview will get you
definitely,
a rematch for that belt.
yeah, right. No kidding. So definitely that one, and it meant a lot to me because that was my home promotion, and it was predominantly a men's championship, and that's how it was treated. So to be the first woman to ever win it was huge. Um, and the DOA one, well, I'd have to go to the UK or wait for Madison Miles to bring it back to me someday, because that one's going to be tougher to get.
Well, rumor has it is she is in Canada.
I saw that. I did see that. I'm on guard at all times.
Let's make that title the 24/7 title.
Oh, God.
All right, question 8 sent in by Clinton. Why are you not an adult model?
uh, that's a great question. Uh,
Well, maybe that goes off of your Facebook thing of about stepmom bods.
yeah, maybe. I don't know if that's, do they want my actual answer, or
Hey,
I think that it's, if we want to get real about it, I think that before wrestling, I was very shy and very in my own shell and didn't have that much self confidence. I was pretty insecure. So wrestling's definitely brought that out of me, but I still get like that, like it's, I don't think I am all that hot, but sometimes people think so, which is nice, but maybe one day.
who knows?
Money's getting low, so maybe.
Well, like they say in the wrestling business, never say never.
Yeah, right? I said no to you one time, RTD.
Yeah.
Regretting that.
Okay. Got me flustered. Thank you. Question 9. Let's say COVID is not a thing to this day. What would you be doing in the wrestling business?
Ooh, that's a good question. Um, Probably focusing more on Pacific Pro Wrestling at the moment. It's the promotion that I partially run with Danny Deeds out here in Abbotsford. So I've switched more so into a promoter-esque role as opposed to wrestling role at the moment. So yeah, just really focusing on building that is the next goal once COVID is over. And then just rehabbing and getting myself better to get back in the ring.
Oh,
And
there
then who knows?
you go. Question 10 was sent in by Heidi. If you made a wrestling company, what would you call it?
Well, there you go. I guess I just answered that.
I kind of chuckled when you said that, and it just like, that's the next question.
Yeah, so check out PPW Canada.
Well, there you go, people. All right, question 11, halfway there. What is your workout because you have a killing bod?
I think y'all are delusional, but thank you. Uh,
Maybe they really felt that comment on Facebook that you made about your stepmom bod, so they just had to.
I mean, see, that's the thing. Now that I haven't been wrestling and gyms were closed and COVID happened, I have this mom bod now, but I've never had kids, but I have stepkids. So I think it's like once you become an honorary mom, I think you just gain 10 pounds. Uh, but before, when I was training and wasn't just sitting at home in my pajamas, um, yeah, it was, it's kind of weird to, I didn't really have to work out that much. I know that sounds awful. Uh, but just, I had really worked hard before and during training. I was playing a little bit of like flag football and stuff like that before, and I noticed just like doing stuff like that was really like really building me up, and I was all of a sudden fit and my cardio was better. And so I hate the gym. I'm not a gym rat. I can't stand it. I get way too bored. Uh, so anything outdoors, anything like sports or hiking, stuff like that, I prefer to do that. And then just the regular wrestling training that everyone does and should continue doing all the time, right?
Yeah, my contestant of gym workout is walking to the fridge and opening it.
That has been the COVID life, not gonna lie.
Well, question 12. I laughed at that when I saw it. Was sent in by Joe. Are you married?
Maybe.
Well, if he
Why is
liked
he
it, he
asking?
hopefully he put a ring on it. All right.
We'll say sure. Yeah.
Question 13. When did you fall in love with wrestling?
Ooh, good question. Um, I fell in love with wrestling when I was 4 years old. My mom started dating this guy who was now my stepdad, and that's all we did. That's how we bonded. It was our weird little love language. Like, we just watched wrestling and we'd wrestle, and I was just hooked from the beginning. I was so obsessed. And yeah, just grew up watching it and would have the trampoline wrestling championships in our backyard as kids and did all the backyard stuff. And yeah, and then I stopped watching for a bit when I got older, and then went to a Big West show one day with friends and was hooked all over again. So
That's awesome. Question sent in by Bruce. Do you have kids? If no, would you like some? There was more to that question, but I just cut it down. The question is because he has like 5 kids.
yeah.
So
Oh, and he's
he
giving
wanted to
me
give
some of
them.
his kids.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought he was propositioning something else there. All right. Which wouldn't be a surprise.
And they're all boys, by the
I
way.
Oh, see, I want a boy. I do have 2 stepdaughters who are lovely, but I
Okay.
would like a boy one day, maybe. But they're great. They love wrestling too. They go in and put my gear on sometimes and come out and act like me. It's great. It's so amazing.
So, even if you're a step parent, I still call you a parent because like you're. It's like I shouldn't put it this way, but you're putting time in. You're being the parent then and there and now.
Hmm.
So like to those step parents, you're not the step. You are the parent.
Exactly. Exactly. It's a good way to look at it.
Question 15. Which female talent would you like to face from past to current roster? Like in all the promotions? Like if you could choose from the past to now, which one would you want to wrestle if you had a chance to right now?
Like anywhere or just in Canada?
Anywhere, like
Everything?
cross promotion, like to the very beginning of professional wrestling to now.
Hmm. Okay, well, I have two answers for this.
Okay?
So I would say I'm going to do a past and a present. So my past one, I don't know if anyone could tell, but I was clearly very influenced by Lita growing up. I was a feisty little redhead. She was like the epitome of all of that, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this woman's amazing. Um, so if there was a weird alternate universe where that could be a match, that would just make my little heart so happy. Uh, and then present, I would say my newer girl crush in the past 10 years, I would say, is Candice LeRae. I think she is phenomenal. Um, Watched her a lot on the Indies and PWG, and now she's absolutely killing it. But yeah, that would be my dream match nowadays, I would say.
Awesome. Question 16 sent in by Mike. Who inspired you to become a wrestler?
Ah, ding, ding, ding. We answered that. So, yeah, definitely Lita. I watched a lot of her. I liked in that, especially in that attitude era of things, I felt that she could really wrestle, you know? Like, it was really hard being a female wrestling fan in the attitude era. Like, it's all bra and panties matches, and I mean, she had her fair share of that too, but I don't know. I just saw her as so empowering, and I loved the Hardy Boys. Like that was my thing. I absolutely loved it.
What about Trish when because she could go in the ring and she did have the looks.
See, 100%. That was so that feud between the two of them. Like I still go back and watch it now because I think it's just great. At the time, just I was so young, and being a Lita fan, you have to hate Trish. Like you can't like Trish. So watching back now, I definitely have a respect for both of them. But yeah, I loved watching them because they could just go. Like it was great.
Okay, question 17. Which city was the best you visit? Which was the worst all across Canada?
Oof.
Like fan wise.
Fan wise,
Yeah,
oh
like where you
man.
were able to draw the energy and just make it more impactful for that match, or
Oh man. Okay. Yes, I do have an answer for this. That was really hard because I was like, geez, there's been so many. Um, I would say I'm gonna go with the worst first
all right.
because it's hilarious to me. So I bill myself from Kelowna, BC, but I am from Saskatchewan. I am a prairie girl. I am from a very small town near Regina, and I lived there, and it's kind of my home. Anytime I go back there to wrestle, they hate me. But they don't know that I'm from there, but they hate me. And I'm talking like they will trip me outside the ring. They will like wait for me outside in the parking lot. Like they are vicious. And I don't know what I did.
You better
But
start wearing a Rough Riders jersey when you go there.
I don't even know if that would help me. Like it's just like I've never had people be so angry at me in my life. So that's the weirdest thing in my mind. It's so strange. Um, and then the best place, and it is greatly due to the fans. Um, it actually became Penticton. Weirdly enough, we when I work for Thrash Wrestling, we work at the Luso in Penticton, and I remember when I made my switch. I was a heel for a really long time, ever since I started, and I made my babyface turn, and I didn't know how it was going to go. I didn't know how they were going to take it, and I just remember having a match against Danny Deeds, and it was our first match together, and I remember one point just stopping and listening because the Scarlett chant was so loud, and I had never heard that before. I'd never had a crowd behind me like that before, and I almost started crying mid-match because it was just so cool. It was the coolest feeling. And now every time I go back there, they are just like, they're so welcoming and they're so great. It makes me like teary thinking about it right now.
Let's not make you cry. We're almost done.
No, don't do that.
Question 18 sent in by Curtis. If fans see you out in public, could they ask you for an autograph or a photo without getting beat up?
Yeah, 100%. I just think that people need to be respectful is the biggest thing. Um, sometimes people will just kind of take a picture of you, and that's weird. Like,
Yeah.
don't do that. Just ask. It's probably fine. But I've definitely had people come in and figure out where I work, and like my real job, and they'll come in, and I've noticed people will just stare at me for a while, and then they're like, "Are you Scarlett Black?" And I'm like, "Oh God." I'm like, "No, I don't know what you're talking about." But yeah, I just say it's totally fine as long as there's a respect there, and yeah, that's it. It's humbling. It makes me kind of remember who I am. It's really nice.
I heard a story. The referee that works with CWE, his name's Mike. He told me a story when
Oh, I love Mike.
from a Brock Lesnar story. He was Brock was eating a steak, and a guy came up who was drunk as a skunk, and tried to get a picture or an autograph from Brock. And Brock said, he's. I'll stab you with this fork if you interrupt me eating the steak once more. If you don't see me eating, yes, come up to me. But you see me eating,
Yeah.
you shouldn't have never done that.
Oh, 100%. If I'm eating a steak or drinking a glass of wine, like, you better back off, buddy. Like, do not come in between that.
Yeah, when Mike told me that story, I'm like, holy shit! If I was Brock, I would have just stabbed him. Don't eat me. Don't disturb me while I'm eating. All right, question 19. What do you think of today's product with no fans being in the arenas?
Mm. Um, it's weird, man. At first, I couldn't even watch it. Like, it was really weird to me. Um, and I hated, it sounds so weird. I just hated listening to just the sounds of, like, grunting. I was like, this is weird.
It sounded
Uh,
like you were watching an adult film, probably.
yeah, I'm pretty sure my neighbors were questioning what I was watching. Um, but I think it's getting better definitely now. They have, like, the whole Thunderdome approach and, like, the cameras. It looks really
Which is
cool. And
actually a
having the
great
other
idea.
workers there.
I don't know who came
Yeah,
up with the Thunderdome idea, but they did it great.
yeah. It's definitely a lot better now. I felt it just kind of killed it for me because now when I watch wrestling, it's because I want to just get lost in my head. I want to watch it. I want to feel the emotion behind it.
Yeah.
And the crowd is 100% that. Like, if you don't have that crowd emotion and the sound and you can hear them, like, it's not there for me, you know? So yeah, it's a weird adjustment for sure, but they're doing what they can, and that's saying something. So
I think the one thing that killed me for the WrestleMania that they did when they split into two days was that the impact of the Randy Orton and Edge match would have been way
yeah.
serious, but since there was no fans, you couldn't really get into it. And so I actually stopped watching professional wrestling. Only wrestling
Mhm.
that I actually watch is the CWE while I'm with them.
Yeah, I was just watching the Big West had two shows today in Summerland, so I was just watching the live feed when you called. So I'm missing Danny Deeds' shot at the belt right now, so I'm probably gonna get heat later, but it's all right.
Tell Danny I love him, eh?
I will.
He'll be okay with you missing it doing this.
I'll go back and watch. He'll never know unless he listens to this.
Oh yeah, but that's the best thing about it being online. You could rewatch it.
Exactly, exactly.
All right, question 20. You're gonna laugh at this one.
Oh no.
Sent in by Sam. Uh, uh, Instead of saying the actual word, I'm just gonna say hump, marry, kill.
Like anyone?
No, no, it gives us three names.
Okay, good. I was like, oof, that's stiff. All right.
Hump, marry, kill, AJ Sanchez, Danny Duggan, and RTD.
RTD, you made up this question, didn't you?
No, seriously, I did not. I know
Oh
Sam, though. I
my
know Sam.
god. Okay. This, I need a minute. I feel like I need to rationalize this answer. Oh, the heat.
Oh,
Boy.
I could come up with one right now.
What? Okay, out of all of those, what are your choices, RTD?
Well, I would marry Danny,
Okay.
kill AJ, hump me.
That's all right. All right, that's fair.
Because everybody knows how pissed off I am at AJ Sanchez for giving me that concussion there that one night.
Wasn't that like 2 years ago?
Yep. Two years ago this past Saturday, so yesterday.
How can you remember it if you have a concussion?
There was video.
Yeah, I'll get you. I'm totally trying to avoid this topic. Damn
Well,
it.
it's not going to actually really happen. So,
Yeah, y'all wish it'll happen. Okay. I'm going to. Oh, God. It doesn't matter how I answer this, it's going to be terrible. I'll never hear the end of it. I'm going to say I would marry you, RTD.
yay!
You're welcome. Only because you're giving this interview. I gotta kill Danny Duggan. I'm so sorry. Oh my god. I'm sorry he's a dad. I feel terrible. That's awful. And I guess I'd hump AJ because he's just a big teddy bear. And
What
I
about
don't
me?
know.
I'm chopped liver?
I'm sorry. I'm gonna marry you, so it's fine.
But there's no
I don't
humping in
know.
marriage.
That is true.
Alright, last question. And it's a very serious one, so put on the serious face. There
Oh, we
w-
have to go from that to this? Alright.
yeah, that's why I put that question before this one.
Gotcha. Alright.
There was some controversy in the wrestling world of bullying among some wrestlers and promoters. Have you been one of the ones that been bullied, or were you one of the ones that were trying to bully the bully? Like
Um,
if you seen one of your friends getting bullied, then you go and bully the bully.
are you talking about bullying or the whole speaking out movement altogether?
It kind of together.
Yeah. Um, I think, and you're right, this is very serious, and it's very near and dear to me for sure. I think the movement was great. I think it needed to happen. I think it's far from being resolved or changed in any way. But I definitely took my fair share of the bullying being brought up in the business. And it sucks. It's hard because you've cultivated this culture of keep your mouth shut. It's especially if you're a rookie, like eyes open, ears open, mouth shut. That's the motto. That's what you're told, and unfortunately, that carries over into everything else, into bullying, into the sexual harassment, into all of those things. You're taught that's the way the business is. If you don't like it, get out. Like it's tough, right?
Yeah.
So it's hard to weigh your dreams and this thing you want so badly against something that is so toxic. And that is why I am taking a break. That was the catalyst. It was the straw that broke the back kind of thing as to why I needed some time off, just mentally and physically. But yeah, it's I would hope that I haven't done any of the bullying or any of those things. It definitely, I think everyone needed to take a step back and self-reflect, because even if you think that you're above that and that you haven't done anything, you may have, like you never know how things you've said or things you've done have affected other people. So I definitely took a step back. I messaged a whole bunch of people and just said, like, if I ever treated you badly, if anything, like, let's talk about it, and it was really good. I think it opened a lot of conversations and a lot of people are talking, and it needs to change. Lots of things need to change. So hopefully that answered your question. That
Oh
was a
yeah.
little long-winded, but yeah, for sure.
I
I
hopefully.
try to stand up for people as much as I can, but like I said, it's when I was brought up, you weren't really allowed to do that, which is weird because as a I'm not going to say my age-year-old woman and being a
What?
mom and those
What?
things, you want to protect people and you want to stand up. So it's hard.
Why wouldn't you say you're 29? Like, come on now.
Sure, yeah, let's go with that.
But anyways, the like when I seen the Speak Out movement, I was all for it.
Hmm.
Like I was bullied in school. I know that's not the same, but it's just like it hurts on the inside, and a lot of
And you
people,
carry that with you,
yeah,
like it doesn't go away.
it sucks, but you know. I hate to say this, it kind of made me tougher when people would, tease me and whatnot. It made me tougher, and it made me want to prove them wrong.
Yeah.
And hopefully, if when people listen to this, they take it that way. Is when
Hmm.
it helps you build the fire to show them that you're better, uh, uh, and you could focus and you could do what you want to do without all the
Yeah.
naysayers putting you down in the process.
Oh, 100%. I say all the time that I've gotten this far in this business due to spite. Like I have pushed myself every time I've been kicked down. I will push myself back harder, and the more people say I can't do something, the more I'm going to do it. So, if anything, yes, it really did help me rise above that. But I mean, I feel like we can just build each other up without having that happen, which is good. But yeah, it's tough. That's what it is.
Well, that was the 21 questions I had for you.
Yay! That wasn't too painful.
Well, I try to make it nice and pleasant.
That's why I'm gonna marry you, RTD.
All right. RTD, RTD. All right. This concludes our audio interview. Sorry it couldn't be video due to us being in different areas. And not only that, I didn't upgrade my technology yet, so I can't do the split screen stuff.
That's okay. I only said no because I didn't want to put pants on, so it's fine.
You didn't have to put pants on in a video. I heard they pay extra for that.
Subscribe to my OnlyFans.
Are you going to make one?
I thought about it. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. I would like
We'll
to
see.
thank
We'll have
Scarlett
people ask
back
me
for
something.
joining me on episode 2 of The Solid Show. I am your host, RTD. Thank you, everybody. Until next time, keep it solid. Thank you for watching The Solid Show with your host, Solid RTD.